Well, hi everyone. This is Sony Artisan and Singh-Ray Ambassador Don Smith, and I would like to welcome you to my March tip of the month, where today we're going to take a look at smarter sharpening. And if you follow along at all on my videos or on my social media, you know how highly I think about the sharpening in Topaz Sharpener AI and along with their noise reduction software. I think Topaz makes some great software, and we're going to utilize that today along with some masking that we're going to create through the TK8 masking panel in Photoshop. So even if you don't have either, I would encourage you to follow along and just let me show you what I'm talking about and whet your appetite and show you how really simple but effective it really is. So this is an image from a beach in Norway in the Lofoten Islands. I'm going to call it Ramberg Beach because I would botch the Norwegian pronunciation of it. But it's just this little hut that is next to this very cool bay. And we got there on perfect lighting conditions, overcast, and there was a lot of snow on the ground about a week and a half prior to this. And when I say we, it was my partner Ron Madra, where we ran our first of what we hope to be many Lofoten Islands and Northern Lights. And yes, we did capture the Northern Lights. And we took a small group of 6 photographers over. We had a great time. I think we were all thoroughly exhausted when we got home. We put in a lot of long days, but well worth it. We got to a lot of locations. Also, there was a lot of snow on the ground just about a week and a half prior to us arriving. And you're probably thinking, where'd the snow go? Well, they had about a week solid rain after all this snow. There were avalanches, and then rain came in and washed a lot of the snow away down by the beaches, but kept it up in the mountains. So it was really pretty, and we just really had a great time. So what I want to do is, this is the raw file. I'm not going to show you how I went about tweaking this in Lightroom, but I am going to show you just with some sliders. I was able to bring this image to life like this, and I can show you some of the basic stuff I did. I always work first in this basic tab, and you can see the changes I made. I stayed away from any temperature changes, nothing in tone curve, hue, saturation, and luminance. Love this tool. I just stayed with the saturation, bumped up a little of the turquoise in the water, and some of this more yellowish color in the foliage. Here, I did nothing in color grading nor detail. We're going to get to that in a moment. Lens correction, I always have both the profile and remove chromatic aberration. Nothing in transform or effect, but in calibration, I did bump up the blue primary a little and a little bit in the green primary, and that brought out not only some of those foreground grasses, but it actually enhanced a little bit more of the turquoise I was seeing in that water. So let's go ahead and open this up into Photoshop. And the goal today is I'm going to show you how I go about sharpening this foreground, the beach, the hut itself, and the mountains, and then leaving sharpening off the water and the sky. Now, as you know, I use Topaz Sharpener AI along with their great sharp denoise reduction and gigapixel. I love those 3 products from Topaz. Check them out. My code is up here on the screen because I'm sure after you see this video, if you don't have these products, you're going to want to run out and get them. Actually, we're not going to use denoise on this because this was shot at an ISO 100 on a Sony A1 with a 24-105 Sony lens, and that's base ISO for that camera. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, this is the TK8 panel over here. I'm going to work with this because it just makes selection so much easier. Everything that's on this panel is simply everything that can be found in these drop-down menus. Tony Kuiper just put them out here for you to see. And let me get out of this. This would be what we call the multi-mask panel. This is where we create and modify the masks and then output them. So let's get to work. The first thing I wanted to do was select the sky, and I'm just going to show you this once so you'll see that truly what I'm talking about is correct. I could come under here, select sky, because I'm going to have to select both the sky and the ocean. Or let's take that away. I can come right here in the TK8CX panel, click that, and I get the same selection. Okay, you can see it's missing, it's coming down into the mountain a little bit. So if you come up here under the multi-mask, this little, looks like marching ants with a pencil in it icon, this is going to allow me to clean up this mask a little. So I'm just going to take the burn tool here, and I don't have to be really careful about this, but, and it doesn't have to be super perfect either. We're just trying to tighten this mask up a little bit so we can get a better sky separation off of it. And now I'm going to take the dodge tool, which gives me the white brush, and we're going to take away up in here. And again, I don't have to be 100% perfect. That's what I love about these tools. Okay. So now that we've got it looking pretty good, let me, I'm going to just take a little bit of black paint here and just kind of get up in this area up here. And we'll come along here. And I think that's looking pretty good. We'll even get that snow there and that snow there. Now, we need to save this out. So if you come down to this little icon, and you're going to see this in a number of places, it's here, it's here. Tony gives it to you every time you need to save something. I'm going to click Save, and it's going to say Channel Options. That's because it's going to save this in my Channels palette. So I'm going to click OK, and I put in Sky. And if I clicked over here to Channels, you would see that it is indeed right nestled in the Channels palette. Let me go back to Layers. Okay, I'm going to click out of here, and we'll click off the marching ants because that means we still have a selection. Now, I've got to select this bay back here, this water, but I've got the roof of this red little hut coming up. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to choose the Object Selection tool. Up here on top, you have a choice of lasso or rectangle. I've done a separate video already on this tool. It's really great. For this one, I'm just going to select the rectangle because the water is pretty much rectangle in the shape it is. And you can see it missed a little bit here. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm going to hold the Shift key and come down to there. Let's see if it gets it. We're getting it in bits and bytes. So we're going to do one more here, and we'll eventually get that. You could also do the lasso. I've had mixed results with both, and this one maybe I should have went to the lasso. You know, when I was testing this out before recording, this horizon one seemed to, or rectangle seemed to work great. Okay. I think we're pretty good. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. Now, I need to save this out. So right here, it's going to say Save Selection. This is saving it into Channels. Let's call this one Water. And click OK. And if you doubt it, it is there next to Sky and Water. Okay, the two are together. All right, let's click out and go to work now on how I went about sharpening this image. First thing I'm going to do is click Command J, and I'm going to make a duplicate layer. I am on a Mac, and then if you come up to this icon under the multi-mask, you will see that my two selections are saved up there also. It's just an easier way to activate them, so I don't have to go back in the Channels palette. So let's just start with the sky. It really doesn't matter. And here we're going to use a tool now called the calculator. And this is awesome. So I'm going to bring up the calculator because I've got to add, so I go to plus. I must add the water in. Let's click out of there, come back under my channels button and click on water and then hit equals. And now you see that it's created a mask where it's combined both the water and the sky, but we have an issue, don't we? In a mask, anything that's white is going to get 100% of whatever it is we're trying to do. In this case, we're wanting to sharpen the image. And anything that's black is not going to get it. But don't despair. Right here, there is an invert button. And when I click that, the mask flips. Now we have the mountains white and the hut and the beach and the foreground white. And that's what we want. So now I just have to output this to a layer. And that's what this button right here is for. And you're going to see now there's the mask attached to the image. Let me option click on it so you can see it. Make sure this image is highlighted and the image itself, not the mask, is selected. Come on up under filter, come down to Topaz, and we're going to go to Topaz Sharpened AI. And I'm not going to pain you with watching the whole procedure here because Sharpen AI, depending on the power of your computer, could take a while. I still have iPro Mac, and I'm waiting for hopefully the M1 chip to come available. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and you can see now that it's done a great job of just selecting the mountain and the foreground and the cabin, but protecting that water and protecting the sky up in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click apply. I'm just using the auto settings and it's telling me it's out of focus, very blurry. That's probably because of the mountains and my depth of field, but I'll come back to you as soon as this is ready and we'll see what kind of job it did. So welcome back. You can see we're down to the final few seconds of processing this image out. I've decided to leave this in so you can see how it kind of wraps things up on its own, and then it's going to output this sharpened image back into Photoshop on the layer that we had created. And it's telling us soon. And by the way, while we're waiting to see this, Ron and I are going to run another workshop in the Lofoten Islands next March 20 through, or excuse me, I don't have the dates right in front of me, but it's going to be about mid-March, just about the same time we did it this year. And we have a couple of spots open. If you're interested at all, I would encourage you highly to shoot an email to Barry, Don at donsmithphotography.com. Or you can go right on my website. The URL is on the screen right now, and you can click on the workshops tab, then click on the Lofoten Islands workshop tab and sign up online. So here we go. I want to bring this image up pretty much. That's 200%. Well, what the heck? We'll leave it at 200%. Usually I look at it at 100%. I'm going to actually show you what would happen if we did not have this mask on. And look what it does to the water. But because of having this mask, we have protected that water and placed the sharpening where we wanted, which was on the foreground, and it even did a great job back here on these mountains. And again, this is at 200%. Let's see what it would have done if we would have taken it off the sky. Yeah, I don't know if you're seeing that in the video. I can certainly see it with my eyes that it has added grain back there. But because of the mask, let's lower this back down. It is protected. And let's just turn off the non-sharpened image versus the sharpened image. And once again, there is the mask that protected the water in the sky. And I hope you really realize how simple it is to do this. But it does take you getting the Tony Kuiper TK8 panel. I am not an affiliate. I have known Tony for a number of years. I started back in version 2. But honestly, back then, I knew nothing more for quite a few years other than how to work this luminosity masking here. And that in itself is so powerful. Now I can do zone masks, color masks. With this calculator, it's simply amazing what you can do on adding or subtracting masks. You can even intersect masks. So those will all be videos for another day. I'll end up touching on everything. But I hope you see how easy it is and what the power of masking can do for you. And for those of you wondering, Don, couldn't I have just gone into Topaz AI Sharpener and brushed it out in there? The answer is yes. You can do it. I think it's very sloppy and incomplete the way it works. I just personally like doing it this way because I get much better masks creating them with the Tony Kuiper TK8 panel. So that's your tip of the month. Ron and I are off to Big Sur. Actually, we're leaving Sunday morning. He's flying out to meet me Saturday, and just the day after this video releases, I guess. And then we're going to check on all our locations, and we are going to start our workshop up there Monday afternoon and run it all week, and we're looking for a great time. And I will have 2023 Big Sur listed fairly soon. Just keep checking the website. Hopefully within the next week that will be up. We're just waiting on a few costs. So until next month, keep sending me your ideas. Every once in a while one catches my fancy and I think, yeah, that would work great for everybody. And until next time, this is Don Smith. You take care.